Well, there you are, and here I am. Welcome back once again for another episode of the Karaoke Chronicles. It's been a little while because, I went on vacation to Massachusetts a couple of weeks ago for the IWF reunion. Always a great time seeing all my brothers and sisters from the International Wrestling Federation and our annual reunion and Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And big congratulations to Betty Jo South, Nature Boy Gary Gold, the Outpatient, who are our class of 2024, and as well as our legacy inductees, Bull Curry, and the Mongolian Mauler, Rick Miller. So, and so great to see everybody once again. And big thank you to Brittany Brown, as always, for helping me put it on. And a big thank you to Sergeant Muldoon himself, John Callahan, Pam Warren, Nikki Belair for taking care of me and making me feel at home and making me feel welcome and just taking care of me and keeping me fed and watered while I was up there. Also, speaking of the IWF, I want to send a big shout out to Dangerous Dave Starr, who said he watches the Karaoke Chronicles. Dave, thank you. Keep watching. And everybody else, tell your friends about the Karaoke Chronicles. I love talking about it. So, without further ado, and now with all the thank yous done, because I had to get that done and over with, not over with, but I had to get it done because I'm very thankful to everybody in the International Wrestling Federation, my family. Now, to the subject at hand, Karaoke Chronicles, our next chapter, we're going to talk about the senior centers. I talked about the nursing homes in Massachusetts anyway, and then next time we will talk about the nursing homes in Rhode Island. We don't have to talk about the senior centers in Rhode Island because I never played at any of those. Did a lot of nursing homes and assisted living centers there. But in the state of Massachusetts, my native state, before I moved here to Central Florida 7 years ago, I made a big splash in the senior centers. And like I said on the last episode, it started out very interesting. And let me tell you what happened. I had the idea to start singing in senior centers. But for some reason, and I cannot remember why I came up with this, but my idea was to do a tribute to the Disney company through music. Music's been a big part of the Disney company for years with the television shows, the movies, and of course, the theme park attractions as well. So, not by myself, with my sister-in-law, Sherry Clark, we decided to go out and do, because we had done it at Sachem Nursing in East Bridgewater, along with her husband at the time, Brad. But now we decided, okay, just the two of us, we're going to go out to senior centers and do this wonderful tribute to Disney. Well, we thought it was wonderful. The first one happened in Plainville, Massachusetts. I think the year was 2000, I wasn't at Best Buy yet, so 2006. Yeah, because I already wasn't born yet either. So yeah, 2006 I think was the year. Or 5, I don't know. It's all a blur. Went to Plainville and they seemed to be in a hurry to just get us out of there. They didn't seem to like us very much. I think they thought the show was going to be one thing and it turned out to be another. I don't really know what they were expecting. They were kind of standoffish and cold to us. A month later, we did the same show in Mansfield at their senior center, Mansfield, Massachusetts. They liked it. They actually enjoyed what we did and even fed us frank and beans and some brown bread. It was good, but they got into the show. They liked what we did. And unfortunately, though, as plans will be, plans will go awry, like I've always said. And then Sherry went off to do her own thing, and then I decided, well, I'm going to stick with the senior centers. And I did one more Disney show in Swansea. And that show I thought bombed. I just didn't think it went over well. More on that later. But then I decided, okay, let's get back to basics. Let's go to Elvis, because that's what got me started in this whole showbiz thing of the nursing homes. Let's take it to the senior centers. And the first one that I took Elvis to, big surprise, was Taunton, Massachusetts, because that's where I was living at the time. And I did a 70-minute show in the black leather suit, which I no longer own because, people get larger, beating my belly like Kamala. And but that went over well. They sold tickets. And it got sold out. They had to turn people away because so many people were interested. So the following month, they brought me back as Cowboy Sam. But it doesn't end there. Well, at least it does with Taunton. But I brought Elvis to Lakeville. I brought Elvis to trying to remember where, Freetown and Berkeley. And now Dighton, Massachusetts was unique because they didn't have a senior center where they held activities. They had a council on aging, but their activities were held at an adult day center called the Dighton Primetime on Route 138, run by my old friend Sheila New. And she brought me in there multiple times, but Elvis was, of course, Elvis kicked it off everywhere. Seekonk. And ultimately did bring Elvis to Swansea years later because they contacted me, and I was like, oh, after the Disney debacle, I didn't think you guys wanted to book me anymore. And they're like, no. Everybody liked that show, but we want to see this Elvis thing we've been hearing about. And then it went to Rehoboth, and then it went to, I don't even remember where it went to next. There was so many, Raynham. And then to Seekonk. Seekonk, I already mentioned Seekonk, that's right. But Seekonk was great, though. They were great to me. They brought me in many times. I did Elvis for them a few times. But it wasn't just Elvis, everybody. You know, once they saw Elvis, they're like, well, what else you got? We did Cowboy Sam, we did Neil Diamond. Cowboy Sam, though, I have to tell you before I go any further, was named by the Lakeville Council on Aging director at the time, Marilyn, what was her last name? I cannot remember, but Marilyn was the one who named Cowboy Sam because she was getting ready to advertise the show in the newsletter. Marilyn Mansfield, that was her name, because Gary, her husband, served on the school committee. That's right. So Marilyn named Cowboy Sam because she was going to put the show in the newsletter to advertise for everybody, but she didn't know what to call it. I'm like, well, I always called it my country show. So she comes back with, before she publishes it, she says, how does this sound? Cowboy Sam's Classic Country. And I said, sounds great under one condition. I get to keep the name. She agreed. So that's how Cowboy Sam was born, and brought him out to all the centers. Then I would do my Christmas show where I'd sing, different Christmas songs. Now, anybody who knows me and my Christmas show knows I stay away from anything religious and preachy. I do the fun stuff. Frosty, Rudolph, Santa, the Grinch, Bruce Springsteen, Elvis, of course, Blue Christmas, the Miser Brothers, stuff like that. I do the fun side. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. And just last year, Dominic the Italian Christmas donkey. So I try to keep it fun, But back to the senior centers. So then I got booked in Acushnet, which truthfully I didn't know was its own town. I thought it was just a section of New Bedford, but sure enough, it was its own town with its own Council on Aging Center over on Main Street at 59.5 North Main Street. That's right, that was the address. I always thought it was funny they were 59.5. But good sized center. It was an old school, I think back in like the 60s or something like that. Turned it into a senior center, and the director there at the time booked me in to do Elvis for a Halloween party. It went over huge. And Heather Sylvia was her name. And she brought me in on a monthly basis to perform. So you name any one of my shows, I did it there at least once or twice. But she also brought me in there to DJ dances. They would have dances. They would have, commemorations of holidays, commemorations of Lincoln Park, the old amusement park that existed in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. They called it Lincoln Park Weekend. They had me come in and do like a DJ and dance. They would have like a 50s sock hop, all kinds of stuff. It was great. But then it started reaching further, suddenly, I'm trying to remember the next one that came to the table, so to speak. Whitman, that's right, Whitman. So that now we're going a little bit north of Taunton, where I was. And Whitman came into the picture, and then that led to East Bridgewater. East Bridgewater I only did about 3 shows, but Whitman I did Elvis at least 3 times. And then I did Neil Diamond, I did Cowboy Sam, I did Christmas. Whitman, I did a lot. And if you watch one of my old videos on this channel, Whitman COA, the Whitman Council on Aging, is where I met Lenny Baker from Sha Na Na, the sax player. Because he was in the audience one day and he come up to me and he said, "Hey kid, you were pretty good." And I'm like, "You're Lenny Baker from Sha Na Na. I saw you in concert and I used to watch you on TV when I was a kid." He says, "Yeah, now I'm going to come watch you. And you know what? You're pretty good." So I got to see Lenny, got to know Lenny for a few years when I played up in Whitman. And then West Bridgewater came a-calling, so I did a show for West Bridgewater at their COA, only once, unfortunately. Then, suddenly I started moving up into Weymouth, and then up into Franklin, Massachusetts, where I just stayed with Big John Callahan and Pam Warren up there while I was in Massachusetts 2 weeks ago. The Franklin Senior Center became an instrumental location for me because I did Elvis and I did Legends of Vegas, and then I think I did Neil Diamond and I did another Elvis and I did a disco, and then suddenly there were people from other centers coming to that, and they're like, hey, I'm so-and-so from the Mendon Senior Center. You want to come play in Mendon? Okay. Hey, I'm from Wrentham. Do you want to play the Wrentham Senior Center? So, and then I even played a Christmas show at a Franklin Senior Housing Complex in their rec room. So Franklin was a big launching pad for me for the western part of Massachusetts. I mean, almost out into the Worcester area. Around this time, also, I did the Quincy Senior Center, the JFK Senior Center in Quincy, Massachusetts, which seated 220 people, and I played for a sold-out crowd doing Neil Diamond. They never asked for Elvis. I did Neil Diamond, and it was huge. Like I said, sold out, went well. I don't remember why I never went back, but yeah, I thought it went well, but things happen. It might have been unavailability, who knows. But along the way, also, another unique thing that happened was in the summer of 2012, I had contacted Kat Jones from the Onset Bay Association in Wareham, Massachusetts, and asked her about the Summer of Love concert series that happens at the Onset Bandshell, about a block and a half from the beach and a stone's throw from Mark Anthony's Pizza. Delicious. And she didn't have any room for me on that schedule, but she said, let me put you in contact with some people who I think can help you. So she put me in contact with Christine and Paul Mascott, who at the time were in charge of the entertainment for Arts Alive in downtown Falmouth. Now, this is a weekend where they close off the center of town, and they have singers, they have instrumentalists, poets, spoken word, comedians, you name it. And of course, artisans too. Painters, sculptors, people who make goods and sell them off, blah, blah, blah. And it's a wonderful time. It's 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, usually Father's Day weekend. And I brought the Elvis Experience there in 2012 and played there every year up until I moved to Florida. But what this has to do with the senior centers was there were people in the audience who were either people who went to or people who were affiliated with, in a working capacity, the senior centers on Cape Cod. So the first one I got to was Barnstable, which is the largest senior center on Cape Cod. And it had been featured the week before on Channel 5's Chronicle, WCVB Channel 5 from Boston. Chronicle had done a piece on it, and I got in touch with them, but they had already heard of me because of Arts Alive. So we got a show together there. We got an Elvis show. Again, sold out. They sold tickets. It was sold out. There's a couple hundred people in the audience. I made the front page of the Cape Cod Times, and it was a big deal. And then they brought me back a couple more years after that to do Neil Diamond and Legends of Vegas. And there was somebody in the audience who asked me, well, hey, have you ever considered doing the Dennis Senior Center? I said, no, but I would love to. Would be a few days before I would hear from that. But the next day, or maybe it was 2 days later, I'm home and I get a call from a guy in Osterville, Massachusetts, small town, small section of Barnstable. And he says, hey, my wife is turning 70. Would you come to my house and do your Elvis act? I'm like, okay. This is the first. And he paid me handsomely, fed me. So that was cool. And then he had one of those rubber half masks with the wig and the sideburns and the glasses that look like Elvis. And he came out before I did my last song, and he was my twin brother, Elmer Presley. And we did a little shtick, and then I sang the song, and it was cool. But then Dennis called, and Dennis became one of my biggest senior centers on Cape Cod. I think I did all my iterations of Elvis. I did Neil, I did Legends of Vegas twice, I did Jimmy Buffett a couple times, did Cowboy Sam, did Jukebox Memories, which I have since rechristened Cruisin' Classics. So they became huge, and then Chatham came calling. And I did some shows for Chatham. And then the Falmouth COA booked me in for Elvis. And then Sandwich, and then Mashpee, and then Yarmouth. And then, what's the other one there next to Yarmouth? Brewster. And then Harwich came a-calling. Now, Harwich is a unique story in itself because they had their stuff on Monday evening. Because what they would do is they would put on a dinner. They would put on this wonderful dinner, and I'll never forget Linda, the cook. She was originally from Attleboro, but she relocated to the Cape, to Harwich, after she retired from school teaching. And she would cook these dinners. It would be something different every Monday night. And every Monday night, they would bring in either a musical entertainer or some kind of speaker. And I talked to Barbara, whose last name is escaping me for the moment because I've taken a lot of hits to the head over the years. But Barbara asked me to come in and do Elvis. And after that, she's like, okay, I need you for 4 more shots this year on Monday nights. I'm like, well, that's good because nobody else is booking me on Monday nights. So you just let me know what day you need me and know what dates, and I'll be there. So that first year, I did Elvis, I did Neil, I did Cowboy Sam, I did Jimmy Buffett, and I did Cruisin' Classics, at the time, Jukebox Memories. And God, that was like 4 or 5 shows for like 4 years straight, on Monday nights. And again, paid well and had a great time. And then Wareham came into the picture too around this time. Wanted me to do Elvis over there, and also the same day, the Wareham COA was celebrating one of their longtime clients' 100th birthday. And they presented her with a golden cane, like an award, and it had me pose for a picture with her and a couple other people, and that was in some, I don't remember what, it was a Wareham newspaper. I just don't remember the name of it, but. That one, that caught the attention of a guy named Larry Gaines, and then he booked me for a show at the American Legion in Wareham, or maybe it was the VFW. One of those. No, it was the Elks. It was the Wareham Elks, and did a big show. There's a clip of that circulating on YouTube too, I do believe. Wow. I mean, it was it steamrolled. It's like. There wasn't too many senior centers in the southeastern part of Massachusetts or the coast that I hadn't done. I ended up going to Rochester. I ended up going to back to Lakeville a few more times, a couple of which were filmed for Lake Cam, local TV. And then Stoughton, Massachusetts was another one that came calling. And my Elvis, Neil Diamond, my Blues Brothers and Beatles shows that I did with Anthony Sylvia all got filmed for Stoughton local cable TV, and those can be found on their YouTube channel. Middleborough, MCAM, Middleborough Community Cable Access and Media, filmed my shows at the Middleborough Council on Aging. Elvis, Neil Diamond, Jimmy Buffett, Cowboy Sam, and Draculus. Dracula with Alice Cooper's makeup, a hybrid character that I bring out on Halloween. That was actually the final show I did for Middleborough. So, I know I'm missing some more. I'm trying to remember some. Oh, Canton. I did Legends of Vegas for Canton, Massachusetts. God, I know there's some. I know there's more that I'm forgetting, but there was so many. Somerset, and then Swansea booked me in like 5 times a year, do shows. Seekonk, and then the Rehoboth Triad. It was a Rehoboth, Seekonk, and I don't remember the other town. It might have been Somerset or Swansea, but they met on a monthly basis. They had me come play a couple of their meetings as Elvis, once in the white suit, once in the blue. Shoot, I know I'm missing more. Berkeley, oh my God, how can I miss Berkeley? And Norton, Massachusetts. And the funny thing about Berkeley, Norton, Taunton, Raynham, there was this group called the Weir Seniors from the Weir area of Taunton. The Taunton's divided into areas. There's Weir, Whittington, where I lived, and there's some other areas. But the Weir Seniors would literally follow me around to every center I played at. They were like a fan club I had, and I had a similar group down the Cape. I don't know if they had a name, but there was just this group of seniors that would follow me all around the Cape. And I always wanted to. I never got it together, but I always wanted to do a show for both groups together somewhere midway between the Cape and the Taunton area. Maybe like Middleborough or Lakeville or something, but we never got it together. Oh, then how can I forget New Bedford, the city of New Bedford? They had 4 senior centers, Buttonwood and a few others whose names I can't remember, but I played 90-minute mixed bags at all of those senior centers. But Norton Norton was important because it was, number one, 10 minutes from where I lived. And number two, Beth Taylor Rossi, God bless her. She did everything with me there. Elvis, Neil Diamond, Cowboy Sam, the Blues Brothers with Anthony Sylvia once again, Draculas, Cruisin' Classics, Mixed Bags, and then she would also bring me in on the first Saturday of June every year at St. Mary's Church in Norton to do their big luncheon, their annual luncheon, and again, brought so many different of my shows there, and was just very loyal, very good to me, brought me in all the time, and just wonderful memories, you know. And again, I'm sure there's some cities and towns I left out. Yeah, Attleboro, North Attleboro. North Attleboro, I did a big fundraiser, and in the evening, it was a Friday evening, and it was a fundraiser for heat and fuel assistance for seniors, and I opened the show as Elvis in the red suit for the Villainaires and for Reminisce, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, very blessed with the senior centers in Massachusetts. Fast forward to now, there's only one senior center near me, and that's the Osceola County Council on Aging here on the Kissimmee, almost to the St. Cloud line, and they bring me in every month for their memory care adult day program to do their monthly birthday parties, and it's a pleasure. It's a true pleasure. I get to sing Mixed Bags for them. I've got to do Jimmy Buffett for them, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm glad to see that I'm able to carry on the senior center tradition. I always thought that Rhode Island would be the second state that I would move into with senior centers, but no, it was Florida. So Massachusetts and Florida are the two states where I've made my mark in the senior center circuit. And just to kind of tag on to this a little bit, it's not a senior center, but here in Florida, Kissimmee Main Street, with their annual Boo on Broadway and their Countdown to Christmas concert for their part of their Small Business Saturday, and the Cowboy Crawl that they did this year, and what was the other event that I did? Oh, the yard sale. They gave me my big break in Central Florida, and I got to thank them for that, because if it wasn't for them, and if it wasn't for my buddy Jeff Allen, who worked in a lot of the nursing homes down here, giving me the contacts, I probably wouldn't still be doing this. So it's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of ups, there's been a few downs, but not with Kissimmee Main Street, though. They've been great to me. And the Osceola County Senior Center has been great to me too. But you rewind, go all the way back to Plainville, where it looked like it wasn't going to take off, and Mansfield, where it seemed to go okay, and then Taunton was really the launching pad. And if you've seen one of my past videos, I actually named Harwich as my favorite senior center of all time to play at, and that's still true. But I got to put Norton up there too on the list, because they're the two that probably booked me the most, and where I had the most fun and made the most lifelong friends, and it was a great ride. Yeah, this video went a little longer than normal, so hope nobody minds that. But tune in next time on the Karaoke Chronicles, when we will talk about the move into Rhode Island. No senior centers, just the nursing homes. I did the nursing homes and the assisted living centers in Rhode Island, and we got some stories to tell there. All good, I'm proud to say. So, Vic Solo saying, y'all be good now. We'll see you next time.